Hey peeps and creeps, how the hell are you today? Perfect. Okay, today I'm going to start working back on this little WMB Briggs motor. I got two of them. One of them, it seems that the valve seal, exhaust valve seal is cooked. So I'm trying to find some grinding compound. We're going to try to grind it. I don't know if we're going to be able to save it or not. Although the other one that I've got here, it appears to be in a lot better condition, but we get no spark on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the flywheel off. We're going to check out the points and everything. Apparently one of the causes for no spark on these is the condenser after years and years goes bad. Well, I've ordered a new condenser in. It's here. So I'll maybe show you a little bit of that, soldering that in there, and we'll rip her down and see if we can find some spark. I'm not going to change the rings in this one as of yet, because it seems to have an awful lot of compression. It just seems like the rings in this one are so good. The valves are all really good. I got a new head gasket for it, so I think we're going to kind of leave the internals of this one alone for now. But anyway, so I'm going to get to it. I'm going to show you pulling the flywheel off here. We're going to check the points out, change the condenser out, give her a general buff, and we'll put her back together. See what happens. Okay, first of all, I'm going to remove this nut out of here. Looks like a 3/4 inch. Okay. We got that nut off of there. I guess we can pull this whole pulley off of there. Now, anybody who's working on these WMBs, if you're first timer into here and you're getting nervous about getting the flywheel off of there, don't be afraid. I was kind of nervous myself, and then I talked to a couple people on the internet, and they said the easiest way to get that pulley off of there is to just thread your nut back on here and give her a tap. Just like that. I was kind of leery about that myself, but after 47 years sitting in the bush, I tapped it 3 times and she popped right off of it. Okay, I've got the backing plate removed. Everything looks really good in there. I do realize though that I didn't have to remove that backing plate. No biggie though. While I have it off though, I'm going to actually remove the points and the condenser, take the coil right off. I'm just going to spend a few seconds and buff it up so that it, at least it's clean. Okay, alrighty, I got my soldering iron out here. I'm just waiting for it to warm up. I've got to unsolder right here. Oh, I'm not even looking at it. Okay, I've got to unsolder it here. That will remove the wire going to the coil and to the condenser. I'll clean this all up while I have it apart. But while I have it apart, I'm going to pull this wire out and I'm going to remove the coil right off of this backing plate so that I can continue to clean this backing. I want this backing plate all shined right up. So I'm just waiting for my soldering iron to heat up so I can unsolder that, and then we'll go from there. Alrighty, I got the points back in, all nice and cleaned up. I've got the new condenser in, wire stripped out. I'm going to solder this all back together. Got my soldering gun all plugged back in. Now, this is just a little soldering tip, I guess. When soldering, always use a soldering paste. It's just a brown, gooey, icky paste. And what you do is you just take you don't need very much of this. And on your connections, wherever you're going to be soldering, just give it a good liberal dollop all over that. And anything that you're going to solder, the heat from the soldering gun burns this soldering paste off and makes the solder stick. If you don't use soldering paste when soldering, you're not really soldering. All you're doing is just getting your solder hot and nothing really sticks. this little can of soldering paste here cost me like $2.99. I bought it when I was 17. I've had it for 25-30 years. Like, I mean, it's a one-time kind of buy, maybe two in your lifetime. But without it, your solder just won't stick. Okay, well, I'm going to solder this up. When I had the coil off, I noticed that the coil wire itself was just wrapped around this little tab. It wasn't soldered on there. So that could have been another place for failure. So I'm going to solder that one back on there too, get her all doctored up, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm going to try to do just a quick demonstration of what this solder paste does. Okay, now you've got your wire and you want to solder it, right? So I'm trying to do this so you can see it, kind of in a messy position here. Okay, now when you're soldering, like a lot of you probably tried to solder, and you see you just can't get your solder, it just won't really stick to that wire. It will a little bit, but okay, well, you dip it into this paste, drop the lid on the floor while you're doing it. Okay, and then you drop it in there and use the heat from your gun to melt that. It's like an acid, it kind of cleans the wire up. Now when you apply your solder, I don't know if you can see this or not, but as you apply your solder, as you can see now, it just sticks to that wire like nobody's business. Now you're going to have a nice clean connection and a lot less chance of failure. Like I said before, if you're not using soldering paste when you're soldering wires together, quite honestly, you're not soldering. You're just heating stuff up and melting it around. But anyways, there we go. Alrighty, we got that new or the old plug wire soldered on there nice and solid. We've got a nice connection there with the new condenser in there. The points look really nice now. I've got the backing plate all cleaned up. I'm going to slap her together and see if we can't get a little spark out of this bitch.